Good morning. The 46th Plenary Meeting of the General Assembly is called to order. Before proceeding further, I would like to draw the attention of members to the date of recess of the current session. Members will recall that it's the second plenary meeting on September 12, 2025. The General Assembly decided that the 80th session would recess on Monday, December 8, 2025. However, I've been informed by the chair of the 5th committee that the committee requests an extension of its work to Wednesday, December 24, 2025, to facilitate a comprehensive consideration of the agenda items before it. In this connection and in view of the work that remains to be completed for this part of the session, may I take it that the Assembly agrees to postpone the date of recess to Wednesday, December 24, 2025? It is so decided. May I also take it that the General Assembly agrees to extend the work of the 5th Committee until Wednesday, December 24, 2025? It is so decided. The Assembly will consider Agenda Item 11, entitled Sport for Development and Peace, Building a Peaceful and Better World Through Sport and the Olympic Ideal. The documentation under this item is listed in the Journal of the United Nations. I will now make a statement as the President of the General Assembly. Dear Kirsty Coventry, President of the International Olympic Committee, and frankly, as a former trampoline gymnast who always dreamt of participating in the Olympic Games, I would also like to say, dear double Olympic champion in swimming. Dear Giovanni Malago, President of the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Games, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. The Olympic truce, both in its ancient origins and its modern form, calls on nations to lay down arms and allow athletes to travel and compete. This embodies an enduring principle. Even in times of division, humanity can still find common ground through sport and enduring hope. That through friendly competition, we can rise above our divisions and reaffirm our common humanity. It is a living metaphor of what peace requires: discipline, restraint, respect, the courage to see an opponent not as an enemy, but as a partner in a shared endeavor. And sports underlines, most of all, that everyone has to play by the rules, even the strongest and fastest among us, in order to become a true champion. We've seen these principles play out on fields and on courts, on rings and in pools for generations. Every Olympic cycle invites us to imagine what our politics would look like if politicians, governments, and head of states carried those same principles off the field. Sport teaches lessons that remain relevant far beyond the arena. That not winning a game does not mean you're a loser, but it's just the preparation for further success. Sports show how reconciliation can take root when people meet each other with respect and fairness. And just imagine what the world would look like if it was more like a soccer field, where it doesn't matter the color of your skin, what your parents earn, how you laugh, or which God you believe in. But what only counts is if you can shoot a corner and that your team has your back. That is this very spirit encapsulated in the Olympic ideal, the spirit of being better together, the spirit of this, our 80th session of the General Assembly. Of course, sport not only unites people in peace, It also drives progress in development. Consider the Open Fun Football Schools initiative, which in the 1990s brought together more than 150,000 children from across ethnic lines, transforming former front lines into playing fields. Or the Sports for Development program, which in 2015 engaged young conflict-affected people in Colombia to rebuild confidence and community through play. Or the football matches organized by Peace and Sport Organization in 2019 to foster dialogue between Turkish and Greek Cypriot communities. Sport in all its diversity, such as PE in schools and kindergartens, and sports in club in every neighborhood, are tools for advancing health, education, equality, and inclusion across communities worldwide. The World Health Organization estimates that physical inactivity causes 5 million preventable deaths each year. Healthy living directly supports SDG 3 on good health and well-being, while also strengthening social bonds and community resilience. Sport also opens doors to opportunity, giving hope to children in conflict zones, in refugee camps, in desperate parts of the world, including slums. And it's also a strong driver of empowerment of women and girls, and for persons living with disabilities. When the Canadian women's hockey team won gold in Sochi in 2014, the message to the men's team was this: play like girls. Each milestone on the field of play brings us closer to genuine gender equality in sports, but not only in sports. I cited here also when celebrating the Beijing 30th anniversary for women's and girls' rights, how often girls still today, and sometimes even women in politics, hear you speak like a woman, you run like a girl. So the answer of the Canadian women hockey team was crystal clear. It means fast and strong like girls. And in this spirit, I congratulate the host country, Italy. The Milan Cortina 2026 Winter Games are on track to be the most gender balanced in history, with women expected to make up 47% of athletes, up from 45.4% in Beijing in 2022. Knowing that teams are strongest when they embrace the full range of gender diversity. That same spirit of inclusion must extend beyond the podium to schools, community fields, and policy-making spaces that ensure every girl, boy, woman, and man can participate fully and safely. When sport empowers everyone equally, it strengthens the foundation of sustainable and inclusive development for generations to come. Let us therefore harness the transformative power of sport to advance sustainable development, human rights, and peace and security. The Olympic spirit reminds us that fair competition can evaluate humanity, that dialogue can overcome division, and that every athlete's journey reflects the enduring resilience of human spirit. The resolution before this assembly carries that same principle. It calls on all nations to uphold the Olympic truth as a moral compass, a call for ceasefire, for dialogue, and for renewed cooperation during and beyond Winter Games. May its implementation reaffirm our shared conviction that even in a divided world, unity remains possible, and respect for our common rules means that we all win. So we should remember, not only when cheering for the next Olympic medal at the beginning of next year, but also when you vote on the next resolutions in this hall, that playing by the rules is the life insurance for all of us. I thank you. I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of Italy to introduce draft resolution A/80/L10.